Today I have with me something very special. It is the HEDD Audio HEDDphone 2 in this case right here. Now, I love the original, and that's one of the reasons why I'm super excited, or at least I love the sound quality. I did find it to be quite bulky and large and chunky, and my hope is that this one retains the same sound quality and technical chops of the original, just at a much lower weight and with a more comfortable form factor. And we will be doing a full review of this one here shortly as well, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel for that. But what you guys are going to see in this video here today is a look behind the curtain a little bit for, just me listening to the headphone and giving a sense of what it sounds like before measuring. I know there are other folks out there who don't do this, but in my view, it is critical that you actually listen to the headphone before doing any sort of measurement. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to listen to the headphone, and I'm going to give you my pre-measurement thoughts. So effectively, this is the unconfirmed by the data analysis of how this headphone sounds. So that's basically what we're going to do. Now, first things first, what makes the HEDD Audio HEDDphone so special, or HEDDphone 2 in this case? HEDD Audio, otherwise known as Heinz Electrodynamic Designs, is a company that has been sort of on the forefront of the air motion transfer technology, or air motion transformer technology, which is essentially a very unique kind of transducer that they put into their products. It exists in other products as well, but they've been really sort of championing it, especially when it comes to doing full range AMT driver headphones. They've really put that technology on the map for a lot of headphone enthusiasts. Now, AMT is a driver technology that is unlike any other driver type that's out there. Rather than having a diaphragm or membrane move pistonically, backwards and forwards, with AMT, you instead have folds, and you have more of like a squeezing motion to move the air. And effectively, this moves the air at a much faster ratio than what you would get traditionally with pistonic motion. Now, HEDD Audio have also done a number of unique technological advancements when it comes to its implementation in full range here, which is what we're talking about with these types of headphones, both the HEDDphone 1 and HEDDphone 2, rather than just something that is aiming to be a tweeter for high frequency information. And what they've done is essentially used folds that have variable thickness and size to be able to accommodate the tuning and the frequency response that they're trying to achieve. Let's now take a look at the HEDDphone 2 here, and right away you get this case. They want this to also be kind of like a tool for professional audio as well, and so being able to throw it into a bag is a great addition in my view. And the case itself feels great. That is a very satisfying zip to the zipper. Now I take the headphones out. This immediately feels so much lighter and smaller, but I'm just noticing something here as well. Okay, so there's a flappy bit here where you can put the cables in if you want to, so that's quite clever. We'll take a look at the headphones here. This is so much better than the previous one. I'm not sure if you guys remember, if anybody's new to the channel, the headphone, the original, it was very chunky and large, and it didn't have a suspension style headband. And I think that was my biggest complaint, that, at the top of my head, it would sort of dig in. I have a pretty massive head, and so most headphones dig in. But that was my biggest complaint, was the comfort. And this one, so far, not only are the cups significantly smaller, but the headband seems so much more sophisticated. I don't even know what to make of this. This is kind of crazy. You have, this looks like, this is a suspension headband strap with padding here, right, on the underside. And this feels like memory foam. And then you also have what appears to be an adjustment mechanism that runs through the top. All right, so you can essentially adjust this at two different spots, whatever makes the most sense for the size and shape of your head, I suppose. And then there is also some give. The headband material itself here, this is a carbon fiber style headband, and then there's also carbon fiber on the inside of the yokes. The cup, as I mentioned before, it does feel a lot smaller than the original headphone, but it does seem like they've gone with a similar cushion style, in the sense that you have sort of square openings on the inside, or rectangular openings on the inside, perforations on the inside as well. Some tilt. You have cup swivel, always a nice thing. Overall, this feels like a massive refinement over the original. And then you can see in the grill here, there's the AMT driver going on in there. So now let's put it on and see how the comfort is. I'm gonna get rid of my hat. Some folks think that I listen with a hat on. I exist all the time wearing a hat. It's for fashion. Come on. This is so much better. This is immediately better. It's definitely more comfortable. All right, now let me listen to it and I will give you my thoughts. For anybody who kind of wasn't sure about how the last one performed, at least for me, it was one of the standouts of the year when it came out for some of these sort of subjective qualities to the experience. But one standout thing about, it seems, HEDD's interpretation of this driver type is that sense of tactility and physicality, and it's right there with this as well. Things feel very alive somehow, very real. And I know these are just words. I feel like I'm describing wine. Maybe there's a parallel there. Future video. But yeah, for these subjective qualities, it's the same things that were great about the original. They're great here as well. But the tonal balance does sound a little different. It sounds slightly more relaxed in the upper mids. One of the things that's really important to me is basically how high is, you know, the highest part of the ear gain there. So the upper mid range, think around 3 kilohertz. And if it's too much there, things can sound very glaring and biting, and I'm particularly annoyed by that. If it's too relaxed there, then things can sound kind of muffled and dull. And this is definitely not too forward in that range at all. And I appreciate that, but we will see. I'm going to listen to some vocal tracks as well now, just to sort of assess if there's enough clarity coming through in that range. Vocal tracks. Speak Now by Leslie Odom Jr.
They listen, they listen. Oh, listen. Brothers and sisters, listen, listen.
So a little bit of forwardness there in the lower mids, I want to say. Yeah, I mean, instrument separation is just on another level with this. I mean, this reminds me of some of those electrostatic headphones. And it may have to do as well with a little bit of that mid-range forwardness, because some of those have that too. But it creates this really nice sort of richness effect that I like. All right, I need to listen to something else here. I'm going to mix it up and go with something a little bit more intense. It sounds more intimate compared to my memory of the previous one. That auditory memory is really bad. It's not bass boosted or anything like that. It's just very physical, visceral bass, tight, tactile bass. And then there's a bit of forwardness there in the mids, somewhere in the mids, and then a little relaxed for the upper mid range is what it sounds like to me. And then the treble comes back, like 10K plus is a little bit elevated. All right, so my initial thoughts here on the HEDD Audio HEDDphone 2. I think they did an amazing job of reducing the size and the weight and the bulk. The comfort it's so much better. I'm not sure if I'd be able to get through a full day of work wearing this, because I haven't done that yet. Now, it definitely still has a little bit of weight to it because the drivers in here are very large. AMT drivers tend to be quite large, but they've done an exceptional job here of accommodating that weight. And distributing that weight. So, you know, it's not just digging in directly into the top of my head and kind of hanging down on the side of my head like the old ones were. As far as the sound quality is concerned, there are a lot of similarities with the original. I think there are a couple of changes to the tuning. One is that it's maybe a little bit more relaxed in the upper mid-range, but overall the subjective qualities that contribute to the experience that I loved about the original, they are here as well. And so I think that's a very good thing. And again, for the tonal balance, it sounds reasonably similar to the previous one, just with a couple of different features. Mostly linear bass extension with a little bit of forwardness there in the mids or the lower mids, depending on how you define that. It sounds like it's a bit relaxed in the upper mids, and then, you know, a bit forward there in the mid to upper treble. So on first listen here, if you fell in love with the sound quality of the original one, I think this is one to look at as well. But as usual, wait until full reviews come out, wait until the measurements come out, wait until there's more information about this headphone, because this is literally my first impression of this headphone, and you want to make sure that you are equipped with as much information as possible before making a purchase. But that does it for this video. I'm going to spend a little bit more time listening now. And as usual, if you're interested in any of our written material, the full written review for this headphone will be available on headphones.com soon, up on the audiophile section there. And then of course, the measurements, we post those in the forum threads as well. There's a forum thread on this headphone where other people are weighing in on their impressions. And then we also have our Discord that's linked in the description below as well. But that does it for me. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.